Good morning, children. Welcome back. Today we are going to start with civics. Chapter number 2, Preamble to the Constitution. We all have studied that what is constitution and what all rules were there mentioned in the constitution. Who all had put efforts to prepare this constitution for our country, India. So, we are going to see today in this chapter that in the constitution the first page begins with the preamble. And what is the meaning of preamble for the constitution as well as for the country? Its importance for the upbringing of the country and bringing equality, freedom, justice, liberty. So these all things we are going to see in this chapter. So let's begin with the chapter. Beginning with the introduction. Now, a constitution is a set of rules and objectives that are mentioned, and we as a citizen of our country are obliged to follow them. So our constitution is the fundamental and the highest law of the land. There are definite aims and purposes to make these laws so that our country should run in a smoother manner. There should not be any conflicts, there should not be any kind of inconvenience in the country. Basic provisions in the law are made after clarifying these objectives. That is, there are certain changes in the laws that are mentioned in the constitution. As per the flexibility, we have seen that changes are taking place in the constitution after years and years. A systematic arrangement of all the aims and objectives of a law is the preface to the law. That is, in the constitution, preamble is the preface. Preface means what? It contains a short description of the laws, duties, fundamental rights of every citizen. And these all things are known in the constitution through preamble. The first page of the constitution is the preface of the preamble. The preface to the Indian Constitution is called the preamble. Now, preface, we all know that it contains a short description about the duties, about the rights of citizens in the country. So, it is a kind of summary that is mentioned in the Constitution which tell us about the detail that are mentioned in the Constitution of India. And the preamble sets out the objectives of our Constitution. As a citizen of our country, we are obliged to follow these rules and regulations and duties that are mentioned in the Constitution, and the preamble tells us what we all have to achieve as a people. So it guides us. It is a kind of a guidance that is provided by the Indian Constitution to people to make them understand the importance of their duties as well as the rights. Now, the values, thoughts, and ideas in it are noble to make people understand. It doesn't have any kind of conflict with anyone. So, it is just an open eye to make everyone understand its importance. So, the entire constitution lays down the provisions through which these goals are to be released. So, we have to realize these goals and accordingly we have to achieve them. Now and then we hear about preamble. Do we have ever read out that what it means? These are the paragraphs that are mentioned in the constitution. These are the small paragraphs, but its meaning is vast. How you all are having poems in English in the same way. This preamble helps us to guide as a citizen of the country to understand what are our duties and responsibilities towards our nation. So the first line in the preamble tells us that we the people of India, it reminds us that we are the citizen of our country, India, and as a citizen of our country, we should understand our duties. And it also talks about that India is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic country, and everyone should understand its importance. We shall now understand the meaning of each of these terms, that what it indicates and what is the explanation, how we are free to follow any religion, we are free to migrate to any place, and we are free to express our feelings, our thoughts. In the previous slide, we have seen preamble of our Indian Constitution. So, in the bold letters, if you might have seen there clearly that these words have been mentioned in the preamble, that is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. So, what these words play an important part in every Indian citizen and how it is highlighted in everyone's life, this we are going to see in detail. So let's move on to the explanation with each term in a proper understanding. Moving on to the first point is sovereign. Sovereign state. We all know that India was under the power of Britishers and they had ruled on us for more than 200 years. And after ultimately so many had sacrificed their life and we got freedom. That was British rule ended on 15th August 1947. We India became free. Our country got independent, and that is India became sovereign, free from the power of Britishers and ruling by themselves, self independency. We are now free to take decisions as we think fit in our own country. And the word sovereign means that a state is not under the control of any foreign power. That means we can rule ourselves. We are democratic. We are free to follow our own rules. And we are not obliged to follow the rules that have been imposed on us by foreigners. So now India is a democratic country. It is not monarchist. It is not being ruled by anyone. We are free to follow the rules and regulations that are mentioned by our Indian government. Sovereignty, ultimate authority to govern yourself. It means the democracy, that is freedom to enjoy the rights and to follow the duties that are there in our Indian constitution. Sovereignty rests with the people. So this rests with the people. When people understand its importance, then automatically sovereignty is being followed and we understand the meaning of democracy in our country. Everyone may not be capable to prepare the set of rules and objectives that need to be followed by every citizen. So what people do, they elect representatives, and accordingly the representatives that are elected by people, they prepare the set of rules and regulations for people of our country and in terms of democracy. That means understanding the importance and requirement of society, these rules and regulations have been meant and accordingly it is asked to society that need to be followed by every citizen. Thus, the constitution reflects the principle of popular sovereignty and the government elected by the people make laws on behalf of the people. Now we came to know that what is sovereignty? That means freedom from the foreign powers. We are free to rule ourselves, not by others. Moving on to the next one is socialist. A socialist state is such a state where the gap between the rich and poor is minimum. That is, no differentiation is between rich and poor. All have equal rights and all are having equal right towards the wealth of our country. It is ensured that the wealth is not concentrated in the hand of few people. Everyone should be equally distributed as per the requirement. In short, socialist means to minimize the gap between rich and poor and treat them equally. We know what is sovereignty, we know what is socialist. That means reducing the gap between rich and poor. Moving on to the next one is secular. The preamble states secularism as one of our important goals. In a secular state, all religions are considered to be equal. That is, none of the religion is treated unequally in the society. Every religion is given undue importance as per the government. The citizens are free to follow their own religion and state cannot discriminate among citizens on the basis of religion. Anyone is free to follow any other religion. There is no distinction between any kind of religion. We are free to go to any of the holy places or temples as per our requirement. There is no restrictions like that if you are belonging to a particular religion, you cannot go to that temple or like that. So government had made a law that every religion should be given equal importance as well as anybody is free to follow any of the religion and celebrate any of the festival as per their requirement. Now we all know that India is diversified with so many religions and we are multilinguistic. Multi-religious nature of society is there and we cannot exercise the right given to us by our constitution in any unrestrained manner. We are not forced to follow any of the things, but there are certain rules and laws that are meant by the government to follow as a citizen of a country. But government had not restricted any of the law based on caste, creed or any of the gender equality discrimination between rich and poor. So the same is true for the religious freedom as well. We are free to follow any religion. We are free to celebrate any of the festivals. But when we are celebrating it in a publicly, so we need to be careful as a citizen of our country. We need to see that we are not harming the environment. If we are celebrating it in the public, So cleanliness and hygiene should be given due importance, and health and environment should be preserved properly. Till now, we have covered 3 points, that is sovereignty, socialist, and secular. Moving on to the fourth one is democratic. By the word only, we come to know that it means democracy. Democracy means freedom. So, in a democracy, the sovereign power is in the hands of the people. We should understand the importance of democracy and we should not take advantage of that rather than preserving it and utilizing it in a proper way. Government makes decisions and draws up policy in keeping the people's wishes. That is, whatever is demanded by people in the favor of requirements, this is being taken into consideration by government, and accordingly decisions are being made that how they are going to implement in the society. Government has to take social, financial, and many other decisions to promote common welfare, that is, providing them proper facilities. All the people are not able to come together and take such decisions on a day-to-day basis. That is why government is elected on the basis of election, and accordingly representatives work for the welfare of the people and society, providing them with the public facilities. Therefore, elections are conducted after a fixed period when voters elect their representatives. So, these elections may be conducted after every 5 years, where people are having a right to elect their representatives by elections. And accordingly, the one who is suitable for the post gets post, and they work for the society, for the people. These representatives sit in the institution created by the constitution, like the parliament or legislature and the executive. These are the three important bodies who work for people. Accordingly, policies are being worked out here and they have been implemented in the society for the welfare of the people. So they take decisions for the entire population as per the procedure laid down by the constitution. So accordingly, decisions are being made. Policies have been planned out, executed, and implemented, and accordingly, they are being used for the welfare of the society. So, these representatives work for the people on behalf of the common people or the population. Now, the last that is highlighted in the line is republic. We have already seen the four concepts. Now, moving on to the next one is republic. Along with being a democracy, we are a republic. All public positions in a republic are elected by the people. That is, everyone is free to select the representative, one who is capable for the post. No public position is occupied on the basis of hereditary succession. Hereditary succession means none of the person who is a representative for people who is working for the society is been elected on the basis of hereditary, that is passed on from one generation to another generation. It is being elected on the basis of merit or the capabilities, who can handle the society in a better way and can help to or is ready to work for the welfare of people. So the position like president, prime minister, the governors, chief ministers, mayors, sarpanch, etc. are all public position. None of these positions are hereditary, that is been passed on from one generation to another. The one who is capable, who is having the responsibilities to handle it in a better way, is can be elected as a representative. Now we all know that the age for voting is 18 years. At least you should be of 18 years, then you're getting your voter card and accordingly you can vote and elect your representative. So any citizen fulfilling the prescribed age criterion can get himself or herself elected to any of these positions that we have discussed. Now only can be a president, prime minister, mayor or anything. But one should be capable and having work experience related to society, means the person should have worked for society's welfare, and at least the age of 25 should be there and should have election card. So it is a monarchy. These positions can be occupied by members of single family following the principle of hereditary. So in monarchy, what it is, monarchy means where it has been ruled. We know that it is hereditary. So hereditary means it is passed on from one generation to another generation. In democracy, this is not being followed. The one who is capable is handling the position. So, but in monarchist, that is, it can be Marxist also. Previously, it was like that a position that was owned by a person, a representative, was given to the next person of the same family. It was not being given to another person. Though the person may be capable or not capable, but the position was being handed to the same family member and was not given to anybody else. Now, in your textbook on page number 69, one passage is given. It is a short like story and a discussion is been there in a family, and accordingly a question been asked based on the passage that is given. Now, this is an activity that you're going to do it by yourself in your notebook, but let's see that what it tells us. So we need to read that Deepa has written a topic on family. And democracy does not only imply elections, that is, it can be in the family also. As per her understanding, my parents do all household work together. We also participate in it. We ensure that we talk coordinately with each other. Even if we happen to fight, we try to listen to each other's view by stopping the fight as soon as possible. If any change has to be made, even the grandparents are consulted. Anuja wants to take up agricultural research as per her career. Her decision was appreciated by everybody. So, do you think that Deepa's house function in a democratic way? Which features of democracy can be found in this passage? So, we have read this passage and we come to know that yes, Deepa's family is working as per the understanding. Democracy is being followed in the family and decisions are given importance. That means caring for each other, mutual understanding, honoring each other's opinions and views, decision making with everyone's requirement, freedom of thought and expression, freedom of selecting the occupation as per the requirement, and carrying out responsibilities collectively as a unit. That means no differentiation is there, gender equality is there in this family, and accordingly everyone's decision are given undue importance. So we come to know that not only in the society by electing the representative, but in the family also democracy is there, and accordingly freedom of thought and expression and all the rights are given to the family member, automatically creating a bond of understanding and due respect to each other. As we have discussed in the video, try to solve the question by yourself in your notebook by your thinking. So in this part of the video, we have seen that what is preamble in the constitution, how it is important, and what all points have been there that play an important role in everyone's life as a citizen of the country. So we have even seen one of the passage that need to be solved. The question need to be solved by yourself, by your own thinking, imagination. Thank you children for watching the video. We'll continue the next part of the lesson in next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Have a good day.